Okay, let's go upstairs and look. The roofing's been on for a few days. I haven't made a video. It's been so windy the past few days. It's been ridiculous. It was even windy this morning. So going to get caught up on what we've done so far. All the roofing's on and all the way out to the edge. I just finished this last piece. I've left this last piece off. I just didn't get it on the day I did the main roof. That was a few days ago. And I finally got it on, got the edge cut off. And it's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. It matches everything. And I'm going to try to go ahead and match the sides with the same copper painted color. And I'll go over that in just a minute, what I'm going to do. So here I've got the can wall here mostly done. And I had some trouble here because working on one side of it and not being able to get anybody on the other side or get my hand on the other side because it's so narrow up there, working along the inside of the ceiling edge was kind of tough. And so some of the concrete was spilling back, and I finally decided I'm going to let it dry. My mix wasn't great for doing that, that I had in my bucket, so I'm just going to let it dry and I'll go back and fill it in. Okay, so that can wall is almost done. I'm doing the same thing over there. We'll get to that in just a minute. Then this is pretty much closed up. This will get batting. This will get regular insulation batting all up and down inside there to stop heat transference. I ordered a custom window. It should be ready tomorrow. And it's only, I think it's 60 inches tall. And so it doesn't go all the way to the top. It leaves me, I don't know, 18, 24 inches or so to allow for a vent. And I'm going to build a vent in there at the top of that little triangle. And the glass place, this custom piece was more expensive than these pre-made pieces, than these factory-made run production pieces that they make all the time, this common size. So this is tempered, non-low E, 1 inch thick, standard panels. And so this one, this custom piece, they'll gladly make for me. They can't make it out of tempered glass because you apparently can't cut tempered glass. And so this is going to be regular glass. It's going to be non-low E, so it'll still allow UV penetration. And it'll also be 1 inch thick. And so apparently it's not a big deal. They just cut two pieces of the exact same size, and then they put an edge of butyl strip around the inside to separate the glass by about, so the glass is separated by about 1 inch, so the whole thing's about 1 inch thick. So that'll be double painted and it'll match. Okay, cool. So I'm pretty excited about that. We got the ends, or the top edges, covered up here. This is 1/2 inch plywood. Used a lot of screws along. So these side screws, all the vertical screws go up along this window box frame. Okay, and then otherwise it's just boxed in along the bottom edge here and the top edge here. This bottom edge here, you can kind of see the 2x4 that backs the back of the window, and that's also rabbited out. So that has a rabbet joint in it, so it folds over it comes over the top of the window. And so those lower screws that I put right in above the glass was a little nerve-wracking because I was so paranoid I was going to hit the glass with a screw. And so anyway, that's all in. Dawn and I got these last 3 panels in. It literally took us like 20 minutes to put these last 3 panels in, to get them off the trailer, set them up here, lift them up, set them in place. And 2 of us lifting, even these big ones, they're not super heavy. With 2 of us, one of us lifting on each side, they weren't bad at all. So we got the 1/4 inch blocks under all of them. Went ahead and siliconed all the way around. It's kind of messy, but it's going to make a good seal. That silicone is pretty thick, and of course we'll have metal overlaying all that. So that'll be covering up all that yucky looking silicone, but it's going to make a good seal. Okay, so that's where that is. This can wall, I'm not quite as far on. I'm actually out of cans. I had 3 bagfuls of cans, and I thought, oh, that'll be plenty. I've used them all, and so I've got to get more cans now. So you can see where I've porcupined with screws all along the top edge, all along the back side of that board, around the beam right there. That's about where the can wall is going to end up. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not a very good can wall builder, but it's a little bit crooked, but it's not supposed to be exact science, so that's okay. I'm leaving 2 inches out here so I can put my insulation board, my 2-inch rigid foam insulation, along the outside face of that against that, and then we'll have metal overhanging that. So along this front edge, I'm going to use the same copper penny metal that I have on the roof, that same color, but before they run it through the machine, which corrugates it, which puts all those corrugations in it, it's 41 inches wide. So when they corrugate it down, it comes out to 36 inches. So that 41 inches will be just perfect to run right along here in a flat piece of metal. And so I'll just have to run some screws along the top, some screws along the bottom, and maybe a few in the middle here and there. Try to do a nice consistent pattern because that's going to be visible. I'm going to make it overhang the glass by just a couple inches maybe. And so that any water running off will just run right past that seam right there. Underneath the metal, though, of course, is going to be tar paper. So that tar paper, I'm actually going to have to put 2 layers on because it's 36 inches wide. And so I'm going to have to put a lower layer on 36, and then I'm going to have to put an upper layer on that'll curve up and over. And I want to pull the screws on the upper edge of the metal right there. And I want to lift it up and tuck in like 4 inches or so of tar paper up over the top of the roof. So it'll come off the roof and overhang down this side as well. Just to cover up that edge. Okay, and then I'll end up getting some end cap, just like we have there, and the end cap there on that tractor barn. We'll put some end cap along here, and we'll also have end cap on the sides. And so that same flat metal that I'm going to use on the front in copper penny, I'm going to put on the sides here. So I'll have kind of a triangle shape of that coming up the side here to the edge of the can wall there, and that'll be on both sides. Okay, good. And then, of course, we'll have a vent here as well above the door. And this will be where the 2 doors are. I'm probably just going to get 1 door in before winter hits. That's my hope, at least get this closed up and get 1 door in, get the outside wood on, and get the outside 2-inch rigid foam insulation on, and go ahead and start building dirt up around this along the front edge and along that back edge. So I want to at least get that done before hard winter hits. And then we can work inside and finish up the little things inside, finish insulating it and whatever. So, all right. And I think I'm going to go ahead and just cut that just a couple inches behind that beam. So I have a laminated 2x6 beam all the way across the back edge here that the roof is also screwed into. And that beam has plates on the back that are screwed, the plates screwed into the beam, and also I have concrete anchors. I put in some concrete anchors to anchor those two just to stabilize that beam so it doesn't wiggle around. Anyway, I'll go ahead and cut that off, and then that's probably where I'll put my gutter to catch water. What I'm cutting the metal with is, this is just the Harbor Freight Chicago Electric. I think it was $30-something. And it does a pretty good job going across the corrugations, though, perpendicular to the corrugations, trying to go over them. Doesn't do very well, but for running lengths of, if you're just running straight down a piece of metal, it cuts really fast. So I'm pretty pleased with that for the price. Okay, I think that's it for now, and hopefully we'll get these tire bales moved off, and so I can go ahead and insulate around here. That was one of the mistakes I made, is the tire bales I got ahead of myself. I put them up against this, and not realizing that I need to insulate the backside of this, because any heat that these tire bales here catch is just going to leak right out these cold tire bales out here. So I need to insulate here and then put these tire bales up against the insulation. So I'm going to have to pull the tire bales off these 3 wing wall tire bales on both sides. So I'll have to move 6 more tire bales. I thought I was done with that. But hopefully, if you're going to do this, you'll learn from my mistakes. And yeah, I'm going to have to move these too, because same thing. I need to insulate right there. I'll be insulating all around the back side, all around this side. So I'll need to move these away so I can contain that heat. Keep that heat trapped in there. Okay, good.